Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Season 9, Episode 7. So, I'm recording this quite late, like, very late. It's just after midnight, actually. The reason this is late, and the reason JoJo is being uploaded very late, despite being recorded earlier, is my sister decided to come over, kind of by surprise. I did not know it was happening. So we spent the day playing some tabletop games and just hanging out, basically. And I had fun. It was fun. But yeah, it took pretty much the entire day. And so didn't get a chance to do anything else. Luckily, I have avoided pretty much all spoilers for this. The only thing I know is that people have apparently already started saying it's one of the best of the season. If some people have even been saying it is the best, and I wouldn't really completely count that as a spoiler because, as you know, that's all opinion. People have loved episodes before that I've hated. I mean, hell, people love characters that I hate, like Luna in Discord. But yeah, I'm still excited either way, and hopefully it lives up to that hype. I always hope for it too. But yeah, I don't know what this episode's going to entail at all. I don't know the title, I don't know writer, I don't know anything. And that's the way I like to keep it. As you notice, I am in my room because, you know, just don't want to bother anybody out there. So sorry about the echo and everything. I talked about that with JoJo earlier and all as well. And sorry for the shakiness with the camera and all. It's literally on my lap. So yeah. But I am excited because Season 9, the final season of MLP, has been fantastic so far. Really going out on a bang. Could be a little better. There have been a couple episodes that could have been a little better, but overall, still doing fantastic. So, yeah, we're going to get right into this. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts, and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, we are back, and we will begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so we had an episode that I really didn't expect. Not only did we have the return of our Legion of Doom, but the episode was entirely focused on them. Like, none of the other main characters, none of the main 6, Starlight, the CMC, none of them appeared at all. I really did not see that coming. But even though this is, I think, the first episode of the entire series where none of our main characters were involved in any way, I really enjoyed this. Like, I'm probably going to have to see it a couple more times, of course, as always, before I can truly judge it and give it any kind of ranking. But I thought this was really damn good. The dynamic between them at first is pretty much the same as always, as you'd expect it to be. Everyone's arguing, everyone's not getting along, Grogar's getting just fed up of it. Again, exactly what you'd expect to be happening. But Grogar is getting so fed up that he is deciding, no. If we're going to take them down, we got to take down these goody two-shoe ponies with their own trick. We got to use teamwork. And the other 3 are kind of against it, but they're at the same time willing to admit that Grogar is just exceedingly more powerful than them, and they don't really have a choice in the matter. So they continue to follow Grogar's plan and find out that he has found his missing bell, or at least the location of it, where Gusty has hidden it. So he sends them off to get it, and of course, when they get there, they decide, oh no, we can do this on our own. Well, at least Chrysalis and Tyrek do. Cozy tries to do teamwork at first. So they try to do it on their own and keep failing, although Tyrek eventually just gives up and lets them do their own thing. But then in the end, they eventually do work together and succeed just exceedingly easily and well. They get the bell, but decide in the end that they're not okay with this. They're not okay with just everything about the situation. The fact that the teamwork is working better, the fact that they're getting too close to being friends and understanding friendship. And of course, there's the entire fact that Grogar is ordering them around and shit just because he's more powerful. So they decide to plan a coup. They decide that they're going to lie about finding the bell in order to keep Grogar from being full strength and work to figure out a way to overthrow him. At which point they'll just kind of go back to doing their own merry things. And I love this concept. And one of the things I wanted to see after we got our first episode and were introduced to this Legion of Doom was, if we're going to have Tyrek be a big focus this season, I want to see Scorpion. I want to see Scorpion at least shown once in one episode at the least, because I think it would be it would fill up something that we wanted to see ever since he was first mentioned. He was only shown like in a drawing style, even in terms of the show. So it's like there's definitely a lot more we could work with that character, and having him be brought in some way could even help with Tyrek's arc in this season. So where do I think this is going? Well, I'm not completely certain, but my initial thought is that after, in this episode, having seen the power of friendship, the magic of friendship, just by working as a team together to get up that mountain, I'm kind of leaning towards the idea of them being reformed. Those three. Not Grogar. No, definitely not. I'm kind of leaning towards them being reformed, and maybe the finale is going to involve them joining forces with our heroes and all of Equestria to take on Grogar. Maybe he will get his bell back, and maybe we'll kind of go back to the original version of Grogar in a way. Wasn't like Grogar originally in G1 kind of a necromancer? Maybe they could bring that in somehow. Because G4 has done some pretty impressively dark stuff. So bringing in the idea of a necromancer wouldn't be out of the question here. That would be just fascinating to kind of do that. It's like Grogar has his own army and taking on the armies of Equestria and shit, and having our other three members of the Legion end up joining them, even if they don't join them until that big battle in the end. Now, I did say before that I wanted the finale to kind of be something that just feels right. Something that feels like it's wrapped everything up. And that means that if there is a big battle, which I think they might be working towards at this point, I don't want the actual final episode to end with that. I want there to be a notable amount of content after that to close out all of the characters' story arcs and just kind of give us a satisfactory ending. Because if they push that kind of battle thing too late into the very final episode and don't do enough to actually close it out in the end, I feel it will take away from a lot of it. Now, one thing I'm also curious about is I'm wondering if we're going to find more out about Cozy specifically. Because Cozy is one character we still actually don't know enough about. Like, we know what her goal was and everything, and we know that she does want to get revenge on the ponies of Equestria. But, like, what is her actual goal? Like, why is she doing this? Is she just some normal kid who has these psychotic aspirations? Or is there actually something more to her? She's honestly the least fleshed out member of this, outside of Grogar, but he's supposed to be the way he is right now. Outside of Grogar, she's honestly the least fleshed out of these, of this Legion of Doom. And not to say she's a bad character, even though I still stand by that her initial build up as to being a villain was not that good. She's actually still a very well handled character as a villain. It's kind of the opposite of Discord, funny enough, because Discord was great as a villain. Well, actually, no, it's actually kind of the same, just in the opposite order. Discord was great as a villain, but then after he got reformed, he basically turned to shit. And Cozy Glow, prior to being a villain, was not that great of a character, and again, her build up to being a villain was kind of terrible. But as a villain, she's amazing. But yeah, I think we need to learn more about her and why she's doing this all. Because Chrysalis and Tyrek, we basically know. Tyrek is doing this because, one, he wants to have that muscular body. He really likes being that way. That was made very clear. And two, he enjoys eating magic. It's his thing. It's just like Chrysalis eating love. His goal, yes, he wants to just eat all the magic in Equestria, but it's not like it's not quite the same as like wanting to take Equestria over. He just wants to eat all the magic. He wants to absorb it all into him. Granted, after a certain point, I would think that would be kind of counterproductive because then there'd be eventually no more magic for him to eat, and yeah, but villain motivations. And Chrysalis, her initial goal was basically just be a changeling. Go out there, eat people's love, take over in order to get more for her and her hive. Honestly, she, technically speaking, from a perspective of how changelings just were back then, she was being a good queen for her hive. All things considered, she was being a good queen. The problem is that her actions were still bad. But yeah, like, other than that, she was just being the queen of the changelings. And now her motivations are just purely revenge based. She just wants revenge on the main six and Starlight, especially Starlight. And Grogar, we even have motivation for him because he was this insanely powerful magic user who conquered Equestria, well, pre-Equestria, and was just taken out by Gusty and basically banished, and his magic was kind of taken away for so long. He wants revenge against pretty much all of pony kind for what he sees as an injustice against him. So even he has more motivation. But what really is, I mean, at the moment, yes, Cozy Glow does want revenge, but like other than that, it's like, what is her thing? What is her deal? I hope that's expanded upon more. But yeah, I don't know how often they're going to do this villain plot this season, because obviously they do want to have plenty of episodes with our main six. They do want to have probably a few episodes with the CMC, and just continue to wrap up a lot of things, probably. But I don't want it to be as scarce as some other season-long storylines have been, like, for example, Season 4 with the Keys of Harmony and everything. I want it to be a little more consistent than that. But I'm almost feeling it's probably not going to be. Because think about it. This is the first time we've seen them since episode 2. We have had, like, 6 episodes, pretty much, in between. And it's like, with nothing about them. Like, not even, like, a small glimpse or anything. And I know this is, like, they're getting to it a lot quicker than, like, they did with the pillars and stuff. But still, I just feel like they're maybe, again, trying to push it out a little bit. And trying to, like, stray away from it. I they don't have to like have focus on it in every episode, but I would like some episodes here and there to maybe mention that things are happening, or maybe show something in the background that kind of hints towards that. Like, wouldn't it be crazy to watch an episode and somewhere in the background you just suddenly see a regular changeling? And that could kind of build up to maybe Chrysalis having found some loyal changelings who are still on her side. Wouldn't that be fascinating? And just kind of starts off with just a little background thing. Something that, yeah, people would notice, but it's not like, it's not something they're focusing on. Or maybe there's like some kind of flyer or bulletin or something that says something about magic being stolen somewhere. Again, in the background. Stuff like that. Or maybe like one scene just somewhere, like maybe Cozy Glow, or maybe even just mentioning these villains. Maybe our heroes mention them here and there. Like, yes, we in She's All Yak, we did have a mention of Cozy Glow and Sombra, and that was something, but it was kind of just waved over. It's like, name two ponies worse than Yona. And he's like, Sombra and Cozy Glow. And it's like, okay, that's a mention of two of those who had been on this Legion of Doom, though Sombra's dead again. Sent to the ether, I guess. But yeah, it's just... I just want a little more. Like, again, it doesn't have to focus on them like this one did, especially not quite like this. But just something here and there. Overall, I do really think this episode was wonderful. And again, I'll have to see it a few more times before I can really judge it. But I thought it really succeeded in every way it needed to. And did pretty damn well at giving our villains just some more character and more depth for this current plot. And again, it's kind of building towards the idea that maybe they are going to accept friendship at some point. And I was already saying that I could already see one or two of them doing so. But maybe that's kind of how this is going. Maybe, like I was saying before, maybe those three will end up having to do so in order to combat Grogar in the end. That would actually be really interesting, especially if Grogar does get his bell back and becomes all-powerful and has, again, these armies he creates using necromancy. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? That would actually work really well, I think. So that, or maybe doing something like, oh, maybe they end up catching Chrysalis, Cozy, and Tyrek and imprisoning them in Tartarus or something. And maybe they try to take on Grogar and find out that they're just not powerful enough, and they reach out to those three in order to convince them to work with them, and maybe they do. And that would be interesting. That would be really cool. But like I said, there is a lot more to go with this season. This was only episode 8 out of a lot more to go, so we have plenty of time to build up more with this plot line. We have plenty of time to go into more stuff. The season's only really just begun. So, in the meantime, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode. In the comments below, as I said. I'm used to saying it the other way around. Tell me your thoughts on the growth and stuff we got with our Legion of Doom in this episode. And where do you think this is going? As always, if you know any spoilers for future episodes, leave them out. That includes any titles, any writers, any plot points, and especially if you've seen the Italian leaks, because these were apparently leaked, or released early, technically not leaked, but released early in Italy. The only reason I haven't been reacting to them early is because they're in Italian still. They weren't released early in English, so I really can't react to them. But yeah, if you know any of that stuff, if you know any synopsises for upcoming episodes, keep all of that away. No spoilers. But either way, yeah, tell me your thoughts otherwise, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles,